everyone, it's Kim and welcome back to Bookmarks and Breadsticks. Welcome back to Bookmarks and Breadsticks. It is February 23rd. I'm about to travel to the UK for work, so I thought I'm gonna give you my book haul now, regardless of what I purchase when I'm overseas. Yay! So this book haul is a little bit crazy. There were a couple of really great opportunities for me to pick up some books. So I'm gonna break it up into three parts. First, the books that I acquired while I was at the Strand in New York City. If you haven't already seen that video, I did vlog my entire 12-hour trip to New York City to help while I was getting my, my tattoo. I realize it shows up funny on camera. Just go watch the video. But really quickly, let me move through very quickly what those books were from the book haul. Sorry if you can hear Dan cooking in the other room. You're just gonna have to deal with it because I gotta film this and get this edited before I leave. Here are the 5 books that I got in New York City at the Strand. We have Candy, The History of Candy, the memoir Nobu, the memoir Bon Appetit, A Coming-of-Age Story with Recipes. The next memoir, I Love, I Lost, I Made Spaghetti by Julia Melusi. And finally, the last book I picked up in the Strand for a total of 5 books is Stuffed and Starved, The Hidden Battle of the World Food System by Raj Patel. Next up are 3 books that I actually bought for book clubs in the next couple of weeks. I found out that Boston University has a gastronomy program, and part of that gastronomy program is a food writing, food book series that they put on called the Jacques Pepin food series. So these talks are free to go to. I can link them down below. It's like during lunch hour, but I went ahead and got the 3 books. The first book, which this book chat has already come and passed, is The Fruit of Empire, Art, Food, and the Politics of Race in the Age of American Expansion by Shauna Klein. This is really interesting. It's about the intersection of food representation in art and its role in food history. It's broken up into different sections such as the banana, citrus. So the book is broken up into 4 major sections: California grapes and the Western expansion, Florida oranges and the reconstruction of the South, Cutting Away the Rind, a history of racism and violence and representation of the watermelon, and Seeing Spots, the fever for bananas, land, and power. Oh, I'm sorry, there's a 5th section called Pineapple Republic. So this is about the intersection, again, of food and art, covering 5 different specific fruits. It was really interesting to talk to the writer during that lunch hour. And let me show you the other 2 books in the Jacques Pepin series that I had to purchase. One book I didn't have to purchase for the series is Coming Home. I'll put a picture of it here. It is part of the Jacques Pepin series. I already own it. The other 2 books I got for the series is Taste of Control, Food and the Filipino Colonial Mentality Under American Rule by Rene Alexander de Orqueza Jr. This is super small, but I'm very excited to read this. And the other is Green with Milk and Sugar, When Japan Filled America's Teacups by Robert Hellier. So to recap this section of the haul, there are 3 books I bought for this Jacques Pepin book series. I don't normally make these kinds of impulse book buying. Okay, I buy a ton of books, let's be real. But I don't normally invest in a book series or like a food writing series. But because it is coming from Boston University's gastronomy program and this Jacques Pepin book series has been around for many years, I thought that this was a really great opportunity for me to also vet whether or not I wanted to pursue some kind of master's graduate certificate or master's degree in gastronomy and food writing. I think it would be really cool, but I would need an employer to pay for that. Like, that's a lot of money for another master's degree, but you know, it's a fun vetting process. Next up, I did pick up one of Michael Pollan's most recent books, How to Change Your Mind, What the New Science of Psychedelics Teaches Us About Consciousness, Dying, Addiction, Depression, and Transcendence. Michael Pollan is the author of The Omnivore's Dilemma. This one isn't entirely exclusively food related, but if you want to think of psychedelics, there are things like mushrooms are going to be discussed in this book, even other types of edibles that really alter your mind. And I got it from Open Books for $9 when this was a pretty recent, I believe a 2021 release. And I'm just really excited to have it. So that was kind of a one-off impromptu buy. Similar to another impromptu buy on Thrift Books, I was able for $4 to get Jay Rayner's most recent memoir, My Last Supper, One Meal, A Lifetime in the Making. And if you don't know who Jay Rayner is, he is a predominant food writer out of the UK. So I'll read the back for you in this one. If you also remember the TV show Top Chef Masters, Jay Rayner was one of the judges, one of the critics. So he's definitely of the food critic prestige, one of the best well-known. You're about to die. What would your final meal be? This question has long troubled Jay Rayner. But why wait for death? Why not eat your last meal now when you can enjoy it? Jay forged a simple plan to embark on a journey through his life in food in pursuit of the meal to end all meals. It's a quest that takes him from necking oysters on the Louisiana shoreline to forking away the finest French pastries in Tokyo. From his earliest memories of snails and garlic butter, through multi-pig-based banquets, to the unforgettable final meal itself, this is the story of one hungry man in 8 courses. Next up, I received a gift card from my boss for the holiday season, and I wanted to go to a local bookstore. So this gift card was for a local bookstore, called Talking Leaves. You know I love to shop local when I can. So I picked up 2 books with my gift card. The first is Green Chili and Other Imposters by Nina Mukherjee Firstenow. So this book is all about the complexity of Bengali ingredients, and it's an area of cuisine I know little to nothing about, and I am super excited about it. It's got some really nice talking points on the back, and it comes from the University of Iowa Press, which is a new imprint I have not heard, not a new imprint, but new to me imprint that's got a food writing department, if you will. So the more I look for, when I go to request ARCs, I'm not someone who really gets to go to like Penguin Random House to request new books. I oftentimes find that some of my favorite books are coming out of university publishing. So it's nice to find a new book and a new place to look for books, which is University of Iowa Press. Now, this next book was on my most anticipated reads list from the beginning of this year. So this is a 2022 release. So this book is The Next Supper, The End of Restaurants as We Knew Them and What Comes After by Corey Mintz. I am super, super excited to have this book. This is a very recent release, and it's a searing expose of the restaurant industry and a path to a better, safer, happier meal. If you haven't already seen my video of other anticipated 2022 releases, I'll link it in the cards and down below. I've been trying to obviously read more books off of my TBR and also buy books that are not brand new 2022 releases. I usually make that anticipated release book every year, and then the following year buy all the books because now they're coming out in paperbacks. But I had a gift card and I really wanted to use it. Okay, I am not keeping track of how many books there are. This is an outrageous book haul, but get ready for the next big pile. If you guys have been on my channel or been around the neighborhood in a while, you know that I have worked with the University of Chicago Press throughout my now almost 2 years on Booktube. I have reviewed many of their books before, and one of the series I am most excited about is the Edible series. It is a global history all about different elements of food, different food items. There's well over 40 plus books, and I collect them. I was also, shout out to Live Forever Die Trying, his YouTube channel I will link here and down below. Every year, the University of Chicago Press puts up a new sale at the beginning of the year to clearance out books, and I bought a bunch of them. Now, these books are normally $20 little hardcover books, and I got these each for $6, and I want to own the entire Edible series, so I went ahead and went for it and picked up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think this is 11. 11 of the Edible books for my collection, and I'm very excited. So we're just gonna fly through these really quickly. A global history of, oh, I don't know if I even have room on this table. Oh no, oh no. Well, okay, here we go. Moonshine. A global history about olives, onions and garlic, berries, nuts, pomegranates, which I just got tattooed on my arm, eggs, offal, organ meat, brandy, sauces, and finally rum. I will note, and I think I've talked about this on my Instagram before in my stories, The Edible series is now moving to individually covered printed spines without these yellow book covers. I personally am really infuriated by this because I wanted all the books in the yellow book cover so that I would just have 2 shelves of the books. And now I'm gonna have this weird inconsistency where half of my series has these yellow jackets on them and these that have no jacket and are different colors. So you're gonna have shelves and shelves of these books that are gonna stick out like this, and it bothers me, but I'm very excited to have all these. And like I said, I got each of those for $6. I still don't think I own all of them. I'm gonna have to make an official checklist really soon. It might be time for another bookshelf tour, except I have so many bookshelves scattered throughout the house. Like, I've seen so many YouTube booktubers that do bookshelf tours and they talk about each section, but my books behind me are in alphabetical order by author's last name because they're all food writing. So I don't know if I should I've thought about breaking up my shelf, not by colors, but do I go, these are all the books about beer, and these are all the books about cheese and about burgers, which, by the way, if you haven't already, I've been putting out lists of 5 books to read about each kind of food topic. I've done cheese, burgers, and I have another video about steak. So if there's other lists you're looking for, like you want a list about books about coffee or something, drop that in the comments below, by the way, because I want to know how you feel about that little listicle series I've been doing. And also let me know down below, do you want a book tour? There are like 700 books in this house, so I don't know if I should go one at a time. Let me know what you're thinking. Just leave me a note, okay? 4 more books left. These all also came from the University of Chicago Press's big annual clearance sale for the spring. I got the book, Wood, Whiskey, and Wine, A History of Barrels. I think it's really cool to think about food, not only the food we eat, but the vessels that we use to package our goods and what the role of wood choice is for aging whiskeys and barrels and wines. I think it's a really cool space. I heard a little bit about this on a recent episode of Gastropod, which is a podcast that studies and intersects the idea of food in science and history. And they did a whole episode about wood and barreling from I believe just a whiskey perspective. Super interesting. So I wanted to learn more. Another one is Food on the Move, Dining on the Legendary Railway Journeys of the World. So this is about food on train carts. I grew up in New York, predominantly in New Jersey. So the New York Amtrak and Metro North are what I think of. And I would never be caught dead buying food on the train cart. Fun fact, one of the, if not the first time Dan ever visited my family at my house, back when we first started dating, God, almost 9 years ago, he ate a hot dog from the Amtrak and then immediately gave himself food poisoning. So the first impression my mother and father had of my boyfriend was a guy who got food poisoning from eating an Amtrak hot dog. So, don't do it. So I'm really excited to see about the world where travel carts and traveling by rail was this very luxurious thing. And I'm wondering if it's different. Maybe they'll talk about modern day like Japan where it is really fancy. But it's, again, this is the intersection of food that's food writing, but also food writing adjacent because it's food in transportation. It's a really interesting space that I haven't read a lot about, and I'm super excited. Let me know if you want a book review about this one. Another, The Culinarians, The Life and Careers from the First Age of American Fine Dining by David S. Shields. I don't think American cuisine has a great reputation on the global market and global history of food. I think a lot of people refer to the French as the forefathers of food. So I'm interested to talk about and learn about food prior to the 1900s in America. I'll read the inside cover for you. This mostly forgotten culinarian is John Dabney from 1821 to 1900, who was born a slave but later built an enterprising catering business. Dabney is just one of the 175 influential cooks and restaurants profiled in this book, a beautiful encyclopedic history of the rise of professional cooking in America from the early republic to prohibition. That's pretty awesome. These are going to be very concise biographies. Obviously, there's over 170 people that are surveyed in this. But this is really exciting because my hope when I'm always looking for new food writing books and new places to explore in the space, having a book like this where I get 170 plus new names, if someone jumps out on me, that's a way for me to go find new future books to read. And the final book is from the Foods Nation series. I have reviewed other books of this series on my channel. I'll link it up and below. And this is The Rich and Fertile Land of the History of Food in America. So I'm very excited to see what they decide to tackle within the history of American cuisine. They go through, and I'm sure they're going to go through colonial America, talk about, grass, cows, cheese. I'm super excited to read this one as well. This is a book that I'm going to have to read. You really can't find this as an audiobook. But let me know if you want a review of that. I mean, honestly, I went through so many books that I reviewed, and this isn't even all of them. I'm probably gonna drop them. So let me know in the comments below what books I should review, which ones are you interested in. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and I have new content every Thursday and Saturday, not Thursday, Tuesdays. I'm gonna drop these, so I'm gonna go now. Bye!